Hey everyone, Rorius here, back with Portal Prelude, the developer commentary series. Now, we stopped right at the beginning of test chamber 14, if I remember correctly. I might just trigger the... test chamber 14. Now, we've got...
Alright, you finally made it to the famous 14th test chamber.
Now things start to get serious.
Yes. From now on, every test chamber is considered hard to solve. I recommend you to pay a lot more attention to your environment.
Now, I've just been recording Portal Stories Mel earlier, where I got stuck in another puzzle that I had to just end the episode on because I had taken way too long. So let's see how this game compares with its difficulty. But first, before we do that, the 14th room is the first room of a certain length and difficulty, both starting to be somewhat high. It marks a kind of milestone in the adventure, as it is about halfway through the end of the game. Although 13 rooms lie before it, the next 7 have a length more or less equal to the first 13, and maybe longer. This is why our observers like to tell us that serious things starts here. Yeah, so I was right. I should have just said what I thought it was. Anyway, so yeah, okay, that's interesting to know. So there's what? It's like 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So it's like the 6 levels of the final section are like equivalent to the first 13 in length. Yeah. It's kind of disappointing that they don't say anything when you destroy these. I always like hearing the frustrations in the NPCs. Now, let's listen to this as well. The red atmosphere of this room was not meant to be here for nothing. It announces a danger and allows me to highlight the turret's red lasers upstairs. The player has to think carefully before trying to go further, because he has absolutely no visibility. In fact, he can't even know where the turrets are. A prior recognition is therefore needed before any progress. So yeah, you need to know that it's there. You need to be able to see that it's there, or realize that it's there. I think it's on this side, if I'm not mistaken. They're on. Nope, I was mistaken. Okay.
Activated.
So wait, can I can't shoot over that side. I'm curious as if I could just... Okay, I'm gonna quick save it, and I'm gonna try something dangerous. Damn, that's as far across as I can go. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, I got one of them. Please don't bounce through here and kill me. There you go, okay. Quick save again. And then we go like this. Yeah. Cool. Alright, let's see if... Let's hope that nothing, oh god. Oh, here it is. I thought my death was inevitable just then. But yeah, cool. Got some classic, energy ball turret action. Something that was basically completely removed, or replaced, I guess, in, Portal 2. Okay, that doesn't already have a box. Nothing looks like it activates the box dropper, but alright. Let's just head down here real quick.
Hold up. It looks like you just entered turret's land here. I'm pretty sure this 14th room was made by Eric himself.
Indeed, his reputation is second to none.
Okay. So, what I'm guessing is that now that we know, we can see the turrets are there, so we can just go like this. Cool. Oh god. Please just... Oh. Somehow it managed to get itself lodged in there, where it's bouncing back and forth in the same exact position. Interesting. Oh dear. Ah! How did it do that? That's a classic example of where the geometry and this energy ball do not interact very well. So like it hit so close to this edge that it actually bounced off this part of the wall, which is disconnected from this part of the wall, and so it like bounced off the an infinitely small space just there, technically. It shouldn't actually be able to do that, but that's what the deal is. That is what happened. Okay, so I bring this down here. Once again, this looks just like a Portal of Flash version level. There's almost this exact same configuration in a Flash version. Alrighty, before we do anything in here, I'm immediately going to listen to this node. So, in most levels, the most important task is to ensure that the player cannot lock itself, with no alternative but to reload the game. I agree with that. Even if I always try to keep that kind of problem in mind as a level designer, there are always cases that we cannot anticipate. It is often during the tests that one becomes aware of the problem. Aware of the problem. When a player is not doing things the same way that we thought, he would. Oh god, I'm not reading very well today. And finds himself locked as a level designer. As a level designer, it is always a big disappointment because it often requires a whole rethinking of a big part of the room. And unfortunately, when we do not have enough time, as in my case, we are resigned to have automatic save and automatic reloading when the player locks himself somewhere. This kind of situation is very difficult for a level designer and could even go as far as to say that it is offensive for our pride to realize that so much effort put into the creation of a level has been destroyed in a few minutes by a newcomer. Yeah, I totally get that, except that there is at least one or two places you can trap yourself in our game that I was just like, you know what, nah. The player deserves to be stuck. I was like, no, if the player's gonna do that, like, I had the time to fix it, but I was like, you know what? Screw you, player. Wait, actually, I should get the box, put it back up there. Oh no, you need the box to open the door. Yep, no, my bad. So what I'm gonna do is somehow... This could be challenging. Oh no, wait, no, because you just go like this to get the orb through, and then... Ah! Why did I do that? I always feel the need to duck whenever that kind of thing happens. Right. So, let's have a look. Let's just think for a minute. Let's just have a look. So, I don't need to get rid of those turrets, do I? No. So, the whole point of this is that you get a portal over there. Did I get a portal over there? I don't remember now. I did. Okay, cool. You take this off. Do I actually need the box over there? I don't think I do I? No, you can just go through... I'm gonna quick save it real quick. Yeah, cool. And I can just portal my way up. I can just fling my way up. Cool. Anyway, the idea behind this room has come quite by chance. When I created this level, I gave the same name to these two doors downstairs and to the ones upstairs. The fact is that when opening the upper door, the lower doors opened themselves as well. And when the player fell through this room, he was killed in a very stupid way, caught in the turret's crossfire. Therefore, I dug the idea. I generated the idea, and I made sure that the player could not throw himself in this hole without thinking about it first. I carved two windows in the walls to let him see what is happening from outside. The attentive player realizes the trap and will return to the button to remove the cube. The non-attentive player will simply be killed. Yeah, see, I was the attentive player, and I saw that these were open, and that this opened them, and so I was like, we'll remove that box. So yeah, then we just gotta... Oh, whoops, no, not a classic fling. A little bit less of a fling. Okay. Okay, no, that's not working. Oh, I probably should do it up there.
Well done. You are now the third best test subject we've ever had.
Damn right.
The second one was seriously injured in this room. She died from bleeding in the next one. The first one, however, reached the test chamber 70. Then, I remember she was beheaded by some moving part.
I remember that too. Some of the newcomers were really sick.
Yes. Do you remember Joshua? I never saw him anymore after that.
Anyway, good luck for the 15th room.
Alrighty. Okay. Anyway, we'll listen to this first. Here is the last room done by Jeremy Barb. my external mapper. He had nothing special to say about this creation, but I had. What is interesting in this room is that nothing is done to facilitate the life of the player. There is no assistance, and the power lines used to blink a button to its action are merged so that one cannot be able to easily associate them. The idea behind this is to force the player to test, to learn, and to remember associations. Okay, interesting. I don't know if I approve of it, though. See, I have a real thing about allowing the player to know what happens when they press, when they do things. It annoyed me in the first version of our mod in Portal Unity that we didn't have any of these lines around. That really bothered me. For whatever reason, it was just a total oversight. And I think we realized that we didn't have any of them right towards the end of our mapping process. To the point where we'd have to go through every map and add them in, and I was, at the time, I just didn't have the time to do it, because I was, I had a deadline, I wanted to release on a particular date. So we couldn't figure them out in time to release the game with these lines through every level. Something that, of course, naturally, is fixed in the reboot. So yeah, let's have a look. So this activates the Fizzler. I'm just gonna have a look. I'm assuming I can go through there, but yeah. Like, I can go through. What's weird is that this is a very different Fizzler from normal. This one has a different particle effect on it. It actually looks like one of the old particle effects. I'm not sure what that's for. Unless there's something behind it? No? That's really strange. Okay. Ah, so some anti-gravity going on there. So that's to bounce the energy ball. Where is the energy ball? So wait, when I hit this, does it... It doesn't cause the energy ball thing to go. I am seriously confused. One second.
My God, you really are incredibly stupid. By your own fault, the test is now over. Adios.
Yeah. See, I don't like their choice of making the test just end. I'm not a huge fan of that. Right, so. Oh. Okay. So that's why you need the cube there. Okay, I'm assuming that this is probably going to be the longest lasting of the buttons, although that didn't last too long. So actually, do I even need this Fizzler? Oh, what's the bet? I'm going to try something. What's the bet? This Fizzler is differently shaped because they're intentionally making it so that the... No? Okay, the energy ball can go through it. Huh. I'm super curious as to why that Fizzler is different. So theoretically, all I need to do is... do I just need to... I'm gonna put a portal on here. Oh, wait, no, you can't, can you? Wait, no, I can. Yes, I can. So I'm just gonna go like this. Oh, what am I doing? Oh god, I'm an idiot. No, I'm not. I succeeded. Even though it was a bit flimsy, a bit flaily, a bit all over the place, I solved it. Yay! Yeah, this kind of texture is the one we used on the walls and the floor. Oh, the roofs and the floors for all of the metal. We never put this metal texture on the raw roof or floor for our mod. And it looks like this guy's done the same. These guys, the Portal Prelude guys. They had the same logic or opinion about it. Alright, let's have a look. The idea behind this room came very early, even before the development process. During the first brainstorming around the game, I decided that it was essential to make the player break a room and force him to use behind-the-scenes sections to escape. At the start, the player had to break the chamber, then observers opened a wall and the player could flee dozen meters through the machinery. The player was then dropped into a test chamber that was not part of the current succession of chambers. Obviously this caused some problems because I absolutely needed 19 rooms with an increasing difficulty, so I made sure the observers managed to guide us to the next room via an alternative path. Cool. Alright, now we're going to listen to this before we go any further. When I finished designing this room with Jeremy, I began to test it myself, and I found myself faced with a problem. There were 3 buttons, a cube at the end of the hallway right in front, and the player. Then I searched for many hours an original way to introduce a second cube to press the 3rd button. I started to dig the ceiling and imagine a new test chamber above, and so forth. It is at this moment that I realized that we already had a second cube, the one of the previous room. When I realized my mistake, I told myself that if it had been so difficult for me to understand, I could hope that players would have the same problem. Right, okay, I see what you mean. So yeah, so you can utilize the box in this room and bring it through with you. Thankfully.
Congratulations, but beware. This is not yet finished. Don't be afraid of the next room. Just watch carefully.
What the? Okay. Yeah, so fortunately for me, unfortunately for the creator... Oh, right, you don't even need to portal. You can just bring it through. Fortunately for me, because I read it, I immediately realized. Well, it spoiled it for me, didn't it? Alrighty, what's this do? I don't know if this is this a special fizzler because you can take boxes through it? This is probably... I'm going to regret this, aren't I? Nope. Oh, it is. Okay, that is the case. Okay, cool. Cool. So yeah, now we just need to... Oh dear. Oh. Okay. No, wrong way. Ah. Okay, this is... Oh dear, okay. So I can portal over there. Ah! Ooh. Okay, that's a little scary and disturbing sounding. Let's have a listen to this though. When I created this hallway with Jeremy, the idea was to create a dangerous environment for the player, but especially for the cube. The hardest part was not to reach the cube, but to go back in the starting room with it, because it should not touch any disintegrator, and should not be crossed by any wall. Well, that's just fantastic, isn't it? Oh, dear. Yeah, so they place these special disintegrators. See, this is the kind of thing that's like annoys me. Although I do like the idea of having the fizzlers that don't fizzle cubes. They're always used in ways that are so very annoying. Okay, well, firstly, I'm gonna bring this with me. Quick save it. I'm gonna quick save it again when this gets back to normal. Ah, freaking immediately fizzled. Okay. Wait. I can just do this, can't I? Yeah, cool. Quick save it. Quick save it again. I don't remember which way I'm going. Okay. Ah. Okay. Phew, there we go. There.
What the hell is going on?
Oh, what have you done?
Shit, it's totally wasted.
It's spring now. We need to get her out of here.
I know. I think I have an idea. You are not going to like it. Hang on a second. It's almost there. Here we are. I lowered the floor. It
Oh, there we
will
are.
allow you to escape using the maintenance areas.
Okay.
Yay.
Right. I don't like this idea. This place is not meant to be seen.
She's mad. You hate everything.
Alrighty, let's listen to this. As you may have noticed, you are at this moment in one of the small rooms that can be found through Portal, in the behind-the-scenes sections. I always wondered what could be the purpose of these small rooms, and where the pistons here could lead. That's where I found the idea of placing the player in a familiar environment, an environment coming directly from Portal. From now, I tried as much as possible to get the player in places he had already visited in Portal. The difference being that we don't come from the same door, and we do not seek to achieve the same goal. Okay, so that's an interesting thing to note. So this is one of those secret, which room is it? Ah, yes, I do remember this room from Portal 1. Cool.
Where is she going?
No idea.
Great.
So he just sends you here without knowing exactly where it's going to lead. That's a bit reckless, isn't it? So can I see you? Oh, you can. You can totally see it, but you can't portal through it. So let's just have a look at this. This room is also part of the first portal. It served as a turret's repairing room, hence the idea of transforming it into a new test chamber, where the player cannot overly rely on concrete and portals to escape. The room is filled with aggressive turrets, and the player cannot even enter it without being killed. It is essential to be very careful before entering. Right, cool.
To bring her back to the test. There's an old freight elevator nearby.
And where does it lead?
Right.
Did I miss? Okay, I'm gonna load. When was this? When I quick saved it. No, wait. F9. Before I hit this, apparently they were about to start talking. Nope, now that I've stopped the node.
I think I found an elegant solution.
Are you going to leave?
How? That's not funny. No, I found a way to bring her back to the test. There's an old freight elevator nearby.
And where does it lead?
Right next to the 16th test chamber. I'm a genius.
Cool. So we listened to the one up there, and now we'll listen to this one. In this puzzle, I wanted players to understand that portals are not everything, and that we cannot always count on them to get out of this kind of situation. The only solution is therefore to go back to the good old method of stacking objects up for required height. Okay, so they're gone for the Half-Life approach here. But I'm just going to quickly have a look up here. See, actually, I really like this because it shows the catwalks before they were broken. Because if you remember, when you get to this section in Portal 1, there's none of this railing is available. There's this platform here, and then there's a broken platform over here that leads to the exit. And there is actually a cube over there. Yeah. But yeah, you walk over here and this door is open, so that's something that's different, or at least it leads somewhere anyway. So apparently you need to stack these, which I might have actually taken me a while to figure out, because I'm not really a big fan of stacking stuff in Portal. The only stacking that I've actually approved of, even then I'm not a huge fan of it, but the only stacking I've really approved of is Portal Stories Mel's, wait, do you need two of them? Portal Stories Mel's, stacking of, alright, I'm just gonna click it just so that I know we've done it. Do I need to? I feel like I need to stack them, but then I need to, there we go. There we are. Cool. Yeah, Portal Stories Mel's in one of the test. In Portal Stories Mel, one of the test chambers has you stack. I've just done it in a recent episode. You stack a cube. You stack a reflection cube, a laser reflection cube, on top of another cube, which I think is really clever. Right. So.
Activated. Are you still there?
Oh, there we go.
Hey.
Ow.
No hard
I
feelings.
just wanted to put him down there. Oh god. Yeah, mainly, I don't like stacking stuff mainly because the physics engine
Dans
is
cette
not...
énigme,
Oh god. It's not exactly the best in this game. Like, the physics is... I mean, physics is great, generally. Oh dear. Oh, there he is. Oh dear. There we are, I'm behind the model. So I'm just gonna put this up here real quick.
Excuse me. Stop shooting. Is anyone there?
Okay, now the rest of the other two are below me. Cool.
Searching.
So yeah, now I just need to knock these ones over. Do I use a box or no? I think I just drop down like this.
Hello. Please put me down. Activated. Who are you searching?
Oh dear, there's more here than I thought.
Long critical.
I like that the message that comes up in the caption says just error, but the error that the actual turret makes is apparently it would sound like it says syntax error, but I'm not sure if that's actually what it says. Funnily enough, I've never actually looked up to see what these ones are actually stuck on. Oh, I can actually use it, unlike in the original where it was actually broken. Yeah, funnily enough, I've never actually looked up what the where's this elevator? I've never actually looked up what the actual lines are for the turrets. Wait, is this? Oh, okay. Oh god,
Deploying.
why is that set up there? These are supposed to be maintenance areas. Okay, before we go on. When some of the testers arrived in this elevator, they wondered why the elevator was not moving at all. They were so used to automatic elevators of Portal that they were lost. That's why I decided to add a little glow around the elevator button, so that they didn't have to wonder what to do for so long. This is in the kind of situation that we can see how easy we get used to things, and how easy it is to upset them when things are just too different from their habits. Right, so... yeah, it's because it's like your classic Half-Life elevator. In fact, it is actually an elevator from Half-Life 2. So it doesn't function like an elevator in Portal. They could have made the elevator just go automatically. A lot of games do make elevators like this go automatically, despite having buttons. But I appreciate the button, because I'm pretty sure we had buttons in our elevators in Portal Unity. This looks dangerous. Nevertheless. Ooh, I like the grimy background areas like this. Much grayer, less orange. I do like them. Alrighty. Cool. Yeah.
Again, it's Peter. Seriously, you put a terrible mess in that 15th room. Mike is looking for a way to extinguish the fire before it spreads out. I hope my colleagues will be able to clean this up before the next session.
Cool. I actually do like that whole moving through the side of the facility and arriving in the next chamber like this. I do like that. I like that a lot. So we'll listen to this. This dead end is a level design pattern that I appreciate very much, but which I did not have much opportunity to implement in this adventure. Its goal is to give the player an access to a zone where he has nothing to do for the moment. During the tests, most of my testers wondered what could be the purpose of this dead end. Some of them even spent several minutes trying to climb it in vain. I'd like to have a bit more of these in my levels, but I missed some time to rework them at the end of the development. Right, okay. So just having a random roof section like this. Although he did say he made every single one of these cameras breakable, so there is something here. But okay, that is interesting, because I do find that I would look myself. I would look to see if there was anything I could do with it. Purely because I'm so used to every part of the puzzle usually being important for something. Let's listen to this. Here is one of the places where players can lock themselves stupidly if they do not think about the consequences of their actions. Remove the cube from this room, place your blue and orange bottles in the same room, and it's done. The door closes itself and you're stuck here. This is Julian, one of my testers, who found... Oh, it was Julian who found this error. What struck me the most is that this is the first thing he made by entering into this small room. This idea never even came to my mind. I feel that I'm repeating myself, but tests have really been a decisive stage during development. Yeah. So what I would say is that there are ways you can avoid... Can you not... Oh. Oh, I see what you mean. I see. Okay. So if you go like this, and you got the cube out here, and then you place your blue portal, so like if I do this.
My God,
yeah.
You really are incredible.
Okay, stop that before it does anything. Yeah, so that's how you can trap yourself here. Oh dear. But yeah. That's what happens though if you create those kind of puzzle sections. You got to try and work around it. You got to try and figure out how to do the same thing, but not have it break the map. It's part of the difficulty of mapping. Although if you are time restricted, then yeah, sure, fair enough. But yeah, that's what I found. We did do a few things like that. Like I tested a lot of our own maps just to I just had to try it. That's something that I did a lot when I was, you know, testing our game. Oh god, no, what the hell? Ugh, I fell through the portal and hurt myself. Oh, my blood all over the wall. Okay. So I'm guessing what I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to do a bit of a thing like this. I'm just gonna quick save it real quick. Come on. I'm gonna do this again. Do I just need the one? I'm just gonna try the one loop. Nope. Not good enough. Okay. I hate having to do more than one jump like this. Okay. Since it was only 2, it only required 2, that was fine. Let's listen to this first. Both these 2 turrets and the 2 others of the above floor are quite special in this adventure, because it's the only turrets that dislike the weighted cube. Once the cube is in their sights, the turrets will fire and try and destroy it, or move it. This is a gameplay element that I wanted to extend to the entire adventure, but I must confess I did not find any particular place where it could be useful. If some mappers are listening to these comments, I encourage you to try and exploit the idea in more depth.
Particulier.
So that's actually really interesting. I've seen turrets attack other things, but I've never seen turrets attack a cube before. That's a really interesting idea. Ow. Okay, I'm gonna immediately die, aren't I? Yep. Nearly. Once again, this seems really familiar. So there's no portable surface down here, so... where have I gotta go? Once again, I've already quick saved it. I'm just gonna try something. Okay. Very unsuccessful. I'm gonna try something else this time. Okay. I just wasn't thinking. Yeah, so where that could be useful, where a turret shooting a cube could be useful, would be if you had some distant surface that you were to drop a cube onto a button, and then there are turrets that are able to shoot that cube. That would be the only situation that basically where the player isn't in the line of fire, but the cube is where you gotta find those situations. So you gotta, for example, with that kind of thing, what you gotta do is what you would have to do is you'd have to get over there and remove the turrets before you could place the cube. So it would make a simple puzzle, a simple piece of the puzzle, a little bit harder. I can't imagine it being used for any sort of really hardcore sections of the game. Okay, let's have a look. What's this? What does this do? So we've got a space up here, which I will briefly. Oops. Oh, God. Whatever. Briefly check. Okay. As you've probably already seen, playing so far, my interpretation of the Portal universe is a bit darker and narrower than Valve's. While playing Portal, if there is something that I did not appreciate, it is the graphical property of most of the massive chambers. As soon as chambers became huge, sometimes for no particular reason, their level of detail was totally unlike... Well, it was totally... I'm assuming they mean limited, until it no longer looked nice at all. Or it looked ugly until, yeah. Just big, monotonous, and evenly textured cubes. To avoid the syndrome, I decided to build much smaller, but much more torturous chambers. As for lighting, this is something I decided fairly early in development. I wanted something darker for no particular reason. It's just my style. Right, okay. So yeah, these particular back areas are a little bit darker than others. So this is used for something. He lied. It is used for something. Hey?
Now the 14th test chamber is on fire too. Mike has lost his password to log into the security terminal.
That's not funny, you idiot.
Oh dear. Okay, 1 second. Oh, have I screwed it up? No, I haven't. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. No, it's fine. Okay. Cool. Got it over here. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Can get that on there. And then we can jump across. Nice.
Well done, Abby. For your information, Mike's gone to look for you. He did not manage to recover his password, which means he must activate the automatic sprinklers manually. How sad.
Oh dear.
Welcome to the test chamber number 70. The experiment is nearing its conclusion. We are required to remind you that cake will be served at the end of the test.
Yeah, cake at a fucking party.
Wow. Who the hell are you? You scared me.
I'm Eric, pleased to meet you too.
And you working here?
Of course.
Okay, before we... I'm not gonna... Because I'm gonna stop the game. I'm gonna stop the episode here. I wanna... I'll preserve that dialogue for the next episode, and since there's a song playing, if I save it and then load it, that song will disappear. So what I'll do is I'll just check to see if the game did indeed save at the intro of the level. When was that? Yeah, okay, so this must be the start of the chamber. And so the music hasn't...
Welcome to the
No, okay, it starts immediately, so we'll have to just leave the episode there, and we'll have to... load from this exact point here, so that the dialogue and the music will start straight away when we start the next episode. Yeah. Alrighty, so if you like what you saw, hit like. Oh, actually, before I do that, yeah, so we learned some interesting things with this, and actually some ideas that could be unique, could be interesting that he didn't actually manage to implement the way he wanted. And actually, something about his style, he talked about wanting darker style. That is something that we went into, that we had our own sort of idea for a style for when we went into Pull Unity. One of those things, one of those aspects of style that we decided on was we wanted things to look incredibly sterile. We wanted everything to be as white as possible. So we were actually going kind of opposite, where he wanted lots of dark, lots of very dim, dark, sort of depressing. We wanted it still to be sort of depressing, but we had lots of blue and lots of white. We went for the very sort of, rather than a sort of a grimy, dark, depressing kind of look, we went for a very bright white and blue depressing environment. Yeah, and so that's why a lot of the things, the whole idea of having the blue was perpetuated with the likes of, we changed the symbols in a few areas to blue, we changed the buttons from red to blue, we changed the cubes to have blue on them, we changed the shell model to have the blue jumpsuit instead. Yeah, we wanted everything to look as blue and white and as sterile as possible. We even cleaned everything so that, the portal gun, for instance, is a smooth, white, clean portal gun. But anyway, I'll stop rambling now. If you like what you saw, hit like. If you want to see more from me, then subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and as always,